we're coming at you from Orlando, Florida this time around. We've actually been out here kind of decompressing a bit after the Tampa RV show. So we're currently at Sherwood Forest, which is a trails collection resort through Thousand Trails. And if you're not familiar with Thousand Trails, we have a ton of videos on them, so I'll link those somewhere here. But we have been enjoying our 2-week stay here for free, not including our annual membership fee. But I just wanted to throw it out there that that's where we were, because we were asked a lot last year in 2019 if we still liked Thousand Trails and if we were still using Thousand Trails, because they didn't see us in a lot of those resorts. And that was mostly because they don't have a lot of Thousand Trails parks in the Midwest, which is where we spent a majority of our time.
And the ones that they did have were completely booked with our last minute bookings that we were doing last year.
Yes, so we are hopefully changing our tune in 2020. We actually have booked a lot of Thousand Trails resorts.
We finally figured out our 2020 plans.
Finally.
And so we started booking. We got ahead of the game and we're feeling good. So.
We are feeling pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So this resort we actually booked like 2 or 3 weeks before the Tampa show, which is not a lot of time to try and book a resort in Florida in the winter. And we did it. So that is one of the reasons we love Thousand Trails and Trails Collection Parks, is if you still need a place a couple weeks notice, you can get in. So we were trying to find another Thousand Trails resort for next week, but we could not get in because 5 days in Florida is just a little asking for a little bit too much. Anyway, I didn't really mean to have this intro be about Thousand Trails, but here you go. So what are we doing? I don't think you can see what I've been leaning on here, but I will go ahead and show you. It's our tire.
For the trailer.
Yes, it is this tire. So that is our spare.
Yep, and so we made the cross-country journey from Los Angeles all the way here, and we always keep an eye on our tires when we're traveling. We have the tire minders on them, and we didn't have any problems, but we've been looking at our tires because we're having a little bit of a weird wear pattern on the edge, and we're not sure what it is, so we've just been keeping an eye on it, just a closer eye. It's not anything crazy, it's just it's like a weird wavy edge wear pattern. So
I'll show you.
So we didn't have any major issues crossing the entire US from LA to Florida. However, when we were pulling into Lazy Days RV Resort, I looked and I saw that this tire was low.
And it looked fine when we left.
Yes. So we found the issue, and it was like the Schrader valve thing was stuck or like leaking a little bit. So we put more air into the tire and we moved to the Tampa Fairgrounds.
Just 5 more miles.
Yeah, 5 more miles. After a couple of days sitting at the Florida Fairgrounds, we checked the tire pressure again, and it was low again.
Yes.
So then I caught the flu, and luckily we had one of the Grand Design techs available to help us out, and he put on the spare while I was inside, slowly dying.
Yes. Yeah, so shout out to Grand Design, because we thought it was a long shot that they would have a tech at the show, and they had one, and so it saved our bacon, because I was not gonna do that. I was not gonna change out the trailer tire.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what are we doing right now?
Cool. So we buy all of our tires at Discount Tire for the truck, and we always have before that, except for in California, it's called America's Tire Company. So just look out for that if you're in California looking for Discount Tire. It's a different company in California. Anyway, so we went to Discount Tire, and I got the tires rotated on the truck, and I brought this tire in. I just wanted to see what they would do, if they could fix it for us, and how much it would cost. It would probably be cheap. We were hoping to just get the valve stem fixed, which they did for free. That's why we love Discount Tire.
Yes.
These are still the original Westlakes that came with the RV, and so they still have good tread left on them, but
they still have good life.
Yeah.
You know, we asked Discount Tire what their opinion was on that weird little tread pattern we were getting, and they weren't concerned about it. So what we are doing right now is taking the spare off and putting this tire back on now that the valve is fixed. And this is going to be more of a for your entertainment, not a how-to, because we don't have the proper tools to lift the RV up. So we're gonna do what you're not supposed to do. Is this proper technique?
Yeah, you gotta save your back. Done.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah. So, now, to make sure you tighten it correctly, you do it in the little star pattern thing.
Oh.
Which means
So you don't do one right after the other?
right.
You like skip a couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. All right, we ran into our first snafu, which makes me feel a lot better.
It'll probably be our only snafu with
Yeah.
this project.
So we went to go put this on, and we were like, how does this go in here? And so we're trying to like push it and
Hammer it.
hammer it a little bit. And we're like, I don't know how this is gonna go on. This is silly. But you're supposed to put it on before you put the tire on. And since I had the flu, I didn't get to see how it was all removed. And so, yeah. So now we gotta take the tire back off. Put the hubcap on. Put the tire back on. And then retorque everything.
Woohoo!
Yay.
All right, we got the hubcap on. So, sorted there.
Everything's retorqued.
Yes, you went and did all the tires just
Yep.
to double check. And now we are putting our spare tire back where it goes.
So this handy little tool came with the RV. It's one of those things that's very easy to lose and misplace.
Yes, yes.
We've kept ours in our front storage with our big orange level, and this was our first time using it. So the Grand Designs have a full-size spare, and so you try to find this little cutout in your
Rig.
yeah.
Oh, my head's there we go. Okay.
And you stick this in there, and there's actually this little metal piece that the end fits onto. That this end fits onto. And so and that lowers the cable, kind of like if you ever have a car or a truck that has like the hidden full-size spare.
That cable right there. That was kind of our ordinary day here hanging around the RV, but tomorrow should be pretty extraordinary. So
Bucket list level extraordinary.
yes, your bucket list. This was your idea.
And a lot of other people's.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you.
Hopefully yours.
Hopefully yours, otherwise you won't enjoy this next part. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. We are at the Kennedy Space Center.
Woo!
Woo! So we are watching a rocket launch today, which is pretty dang cool.
Yeah, and it's SpaceX who's sending up some Starlink satellites, which if you know nothing about Starlink and you're an RVer, you need to go Google it, because pretty much it's going to make internet available to everyone, which is something I'm passionate about. I grew up in a rural area of Los Angeles, and we had dial-up until high school, which was insane. And so I'm a believer in internet being the great equalizer. No matter where you're born, how much money you have, the internet is open to everyone to learn. So you kind of get that new story. Anyway, my high horse aside, things like this are the number one reason I love to RV. We just happen to end up in really cool places. Maybe if we planned a little bit better, we can end up in more cool places at cool times. But like, this reminds me of like Milwaukee when they had Summerfest going. Although that's easier to cross over because Summerfest is pretty much the entire summer. If it's warm in Milwaukee, I feel like Summerfest is going on.
Yes.
Not really. It's only 30 days, but still. And then the Lake Havasu Balloon Festival was really cool. We just happened to be there and watch the hot air balloons dunk and then go over the bridge and dunk on the other side.
Yes.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so these unplanned experiences are some of our favorite. So we are arriving. Is this the visitor center?
This is the visitor center.
Okay, let's take a look at this big building. Well, it doesn't look that big on the screen. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and just show you more.
Bad news. They scrubbed the launch literally as we were entering the gates here at Kennedy Space Center. We were watching it like the whole time because we were a little worried, but then literally T-minus, what was on the clock? 38.
Yeah,
T-minus
by the
38.
time we got to the gate, there was like still less than 30 minutes left.
Yeah, we're taking pictures in front of like the timer out front, like the countdown clock. Anyway, they scrubbed the mission and it's gonna happen tomorrow. And so we had the big question, do we explore Kennedy Space Center today and then watch the launch from the beach, or do we just come back to the Space Center tomorrow and rebuy parking? Just like 10 bucks. And they have actually RV oversized vehicle parking. It's $15.
Yeah, there was a reflection in the RV parking, so it's got a lot of space.
Yeah, so we didn't like to waste time, and so we decided to actually just explore Kennedy Space Center today, and I think I'm glad we did. I'm a little bummed that we're not gonna see the launch from their observation area here with like commentary, but it's all right because it's not the best observation deck. There's 3 of them here, and this is the one at the visitor center for this launch, which is the furthest away.
Yeah.
And
we've spent the whole day here. We didn't think, I feel like we're at Disneyland.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
They have a simulation ride, which is awesome. You absolutely need to go on that. You can take a bus tour, and it takes you to a whole different area.
Yeah.
Where
it's talking about the Saturn and Saturn rockets and the Apollo missions, and you get to see the whole Saturn rocket, and that's included with your Kennedy Space Center ticket, the bus tour. So we recommend doing the bus tour first and then heading over here. This is the Atlantis area with the space shuttles, which are really, really cool, and you actually have like a launch shuttle experience, which was better than a lot of amusement park rides we've been on, I think.
It was awesome. So yes, we're gonna watch the launch tomorrow. It most likely will happen tomorrow. There's an 80% chance. Today was 50-50, and we knew that coming in, but we figured it was looking good since they weren't scrapping it. But oh well. So tomorrow's 80%, and it'll most likely happen. And we'll be watching it from the beach.
But this is an awesome place to explore, especially if you're even passingly interested in space or our space program. There's even more that we haven't seen and we don't have time to see.
No, it's awesome. Definitely add this to a stop on your list. And we're gonna show you some of the stuff that we saw today, and we'll see you either back home or tomorrow morning.
something happens before launch, during launch, or right after launch, that right there can actually rip off the Orion capsule right off the top of the SLS and carry it at 500 miles an hour out to a safe haven. That right there has 400,000 foot-pounds of torque, enough to lift 10 buses just like this one, and so it takes it off at 500 miles an hour to, most of the time, it's going to be over the water.
Morning, guys. As you can see, we are obviously not at the Kennedy Space Center.
We got to sleep in.
Yes, because
they scrubbed the launch again.
Yes.
So luckily for us, we found out at about 10:30 last night, early enough for us to turn off our 5 a.m. alarm. But we're still a little bummed.
Yeah. But I mean, so that's kind of like RV life. I feel like this not only reminds us of this lifestyle and how things can work out. It is not playtime, but it's also a lesson for you guys. So this is normally our morning routine. Oh, that too. So anyway, just like how we were talking about earlier, we don't expect these things to happen. It just aligned and it was perfect for where we were and something we wanted to do. Sometimes when you do plan things, they don't work out just like this didn't. So sometimes it doesn't really matter if you plan in advance or it just happens. That's really kind of how RV life goes. So we do have some lessons learned though. Unfortunately, it did get moved to tomorrow, which we already have plans for tomorrow. We are doing a 5 a.m. wake-up call for something else. We are going to Disney World. We are very excited about it. Hey, please don't lick the bed. Thanks. So, yeah. Anyway, what are our lessons learned from this? We do want to see this in the future.
Yeah.
A rocket launch.
If you are staying in Orlando like we were, there's a ton of toll roads to get there. So make sure you bring cash if you don't have a transponder.
Yes.
We highly recommend staying closer. We know the next time we're in the area, we're going to plan to be closer.
Mm-hmm. We're going to try and get in at the Thousand Trails Space Coast. I mean, it's named Space Coast. Come on.
Yeah, and that's relatively close. As close as you can get for free. Right?
Yes.
So that is definitely a benefit because we weren't looking forward to the hour drive it would take from Orlando again early in the morning to chance having a scrubbed mission. So stay close.
Give yourself a couple days.
Yes, give yourself a couple days because...
Yeah, so even if you do plan a launch in advance, because you obviously know them in advance, you could have what happened to us exactly that's what could happen to you. So at least plan your stay for a few days longer, just in case it does get scrubbed. You'll still be in the area and you can watch it the next day.
Yeah, overall, Kennedy Space Center is an amazing place to go. Just having Ray get excited about space and like, you know, you saw her at the beginning, she's like, yeah, this isn't on my bucket list, but now it's something that we're going to do because it was just a really cool experience.
It was.
No matter where you are in Florida, you should sign up for Kennedy Space Center's launch schedule, and they'll send you an email with each launch that's coming up, because we were able to see a launch last week from like the Tampa area, which is what got us super excited. So that is a big recommendation, so you can always be up to date on when launches are happening.
happening.
Yes. So I think that is about it. One thing I feel like people might mention this in the background or in some of our B-roll, you might have noticed Morton's on the move. So we did get to have this all-day experience at the Kennedy Space Center with them. So that is one of our goals for 2020, is hanging out with our friends more, so that even though the launch got scrubbed, we still had an amazing day hanging with friends, and we're still accomplishing our goals for 2020. So other than that, I don't really think there's anything else.
No?
Yeah, we'll see you next week when we go to Disney. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our Getaway gang. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys. Okay. In this video, and I forget what I wanted to say. We've taken, Jesus, okay. We have been out here at the Sherwood, called Sherwood?
Sherwood Forest.
Okay. Encore Resort. God damn it.
So they scrubbed the launch as we were entering into the visitor center here.
Literally just had a full conversation around us. Okay, let's start over. Give it. Give it.